Hello, YouTube. Sometimes, if you want to feel something different, you have to do something different. We do certain things, typically on autopilot, because our brain is set up to make us feel comfortable, relaxed, and safe from harm. So, it's typically things that are either automatic, stumbling to the coffee pot in the morning, however it is that you wake up when you're not conscious, these habitual responses of ease and safety, not taking risks, our fears, all of these things are our daily routine. It's often not something we came up with, it's something we found ourselves in. And we like autopilot. It takes stress off our brain because we can only make a certain number of decisions a day before the brain is fatigued. So it's practical, but it's not practical if what you're doing is not producing positive feelings. If you don't feel good physically, mentally, spiritually, if something is lacking, if you're not really feeling good from autopilot or from ease and comfort or familiarity, if what you've been doing hasn't been working for you, you have to do something differently. Where do you start? Anywhere. To produce a different emotion, we have to do a different action. Pick anything. Pick eating a little bit better. Pick going outside first thing in the morning, watching the sunrise. Work like a baby. Babies don't learn to eat solid food at the same time they learn to stand and crawl and walk. Everything is done in incremental steps. If you try to change everything all at once, you're going to get overwhelmed. It's all going to fall apart. But changing just a little bit of what you do on autopilot, making a different choice, is going to elicit a different emotion. And so if what you're doing is working for you, keep doing it. If it's not working for you, you have to pick something and change it and see how it feels. And for the first little while, it's going to feel uncomfortable because it's not automatic, it's not autopilot. But it will get easier, and you'll probably feel proud of yourself, and that will motivate you, and eventually it will become its own autopilot. But you feel the way you feel because you do what you do or don't do what you don't do. It's not all the reasons why we feel the way we feel, but certain actions create certain emotions. Other actions create different emotions. So if you want to change your emotion, try changing your action. It doesn't have to be huge. Just do something differently. I said small things. Create. Be more social. Read a book. If your typical lunch break is sitting outside and chain smoking, maybe you have one cigarette and bring a book to read, or an audible book. We are in that day and age. Get outside more. Stay inside more. Maybe you're constantly running around and you never take time off to self-care. Add a little self-care to your life. We can talk ourselves into as many emotions as we can possibly talk ourselves into through visualization and other techniques. But sometimes it takes action. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I'm not talking about being an entrepreneur, starting your own business, going back to school. You don't have to make monumental changes, and you shouldn't try to change everything all at once because it'll be too overwhelming. You'll do it for like 3 days, like a New Year's resolution, and it'll all fall apart. I'm just talking about changing one or two small things that are going to elicit a positive emotion in your life and are going to break up that routine and sort of set you in a position for the rest of the day where you're going to be more conscious of the decisions that you're making, because our days are a culmination of the choices we make. Not the ones we make now and then, unless they're severely catastrophic, but the ones we make repeatedly. So try and make a few different choices and turn those choices into action and repeat things that are going to add to your life, positive feelings, and keep doing them until they do, and then add something else. You can't do the same thing over and over that causes you to feel X and expect it to make you feel Y. You have to change it up. So take a different action to have a different emotion. I could have said that much more concisely. I really had a formal thought pattern when I started, but I'm not awake. I'm off to the doctor. Slamming down some coffee and throwing out a half-baked video. Love you guys. At least I'm genuine. Bye, YouTube.